Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Wednesday video with us, the Dynamic Dudes, the British Fist.
Good, Jake.
We are British and we just did the fist thing, so there we go. That's why we're called the British Fist, guys. Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on what we're going to be talking about in this video down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
And I may have done this in a bad order, but you guys must know by now, I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me right now, parading a brand new haircut today. It's none other than NJ.
What's up?
And does he look like Randy Orton? I'll let you guys decide that one, but there we go. In today's topical video, we're going to be addressing some very big news for both WWE and TNA, and we're going to be discussing the fact that Raw is going to be going to 3 hours on the 23rd of July on the 1000th episode, and then we're going to give our thoughts on Impact going live and going back an hour earlier, pretty much all summer long, and so it should be an interesting video. This is two real big bits of news for WWE and TNA.
And the big thing about it is they both have enough at the same time. WWE and TNA both have these real big ideas. And if there's a purpose for doing this, so, Raw for wrestling, it's just because of 1,000 episodes. For TNA, I guess they just come up with new ideas to improve their show. We'll get into more detail in this video.
Indeed, and before we cut off, which we're not going to because we don't do cuts, this is pure 100% off the cuff. Talk about Raw going to 3 hours. What are your initial and immediate thoughts when you saw that Raw was going to be going 3 hours on the 23rd of July to celebrate the 1000th episode of Raw?
As much as I'm a wrestling fan, and the more wrestling, the better for me, I look at this and think, I used to see 3 hour Raw as something special, or just something happening on that particular show, so that we don't know what's going to happen, some surprise, or they're doing it for a certain genre or something, and all of a sudden they come up with the idea of thinking, I know what we'll do. We've had a 3 hour pay-per-view, now we're going to have a 3 hour Raw. There'll be maybe nothing special about it, just 3 hour Raw to entertain the fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally behind this whole 3 hour Raw thing. I think a lot of people backstage are really questioning Vince McMahon's decision to go 3 hours. The reason why I don't like this is just because, man, what can you fit in 3 hours? I mean, Raw has been a 2 hour show and a very successful 2 hour show for a long time, alongside SmackDown as well. And I'm not really sure why Vince McMahon has decided to go 3 hours. I mean, yes, you can get more on there and you can showcase more of your talents, which will probably be a good thing about Raw. We'll probably see more of the talents like the Alex Rileys, the Drew McIntyres, the Justin Gabriels, etc. But how much more filler? Compared, because we've got a lot of filler on Raw already, how much more filler are we going to see on these 3 hour editions of Raw? And, how it's going to be a lot harder, as if it's a shit show, like we've seen a lot of recently. It's going to be very hard to get through, because a 2 hour Raw is hard enough to get through. I'm not sure this is a good decision, just in my opinion, to go 3 hours.
When we battle against the filler thing, yes, the WWE are good at adding filler in to try and fill up time and to try and give other wrestlers some kind of involvement. But at the same time, with it being 3 hours now, hopefully they can fix the short matches problem. Like some matches think, I should have got more time, or they're trying to rush to fill up more time for the main event. Now they've got 3 hours. Hopefully the matches that we complain about or want to see more time in will get that to fill it up.
Yeah, and you could also make an argument with the whole Raw Super Show thing that you could get more SmackDown superstars on there. Now, I wouldn't mind this 3 hour Raw if maybe they were going to get rid of SmackDown or something, which they should never do. I still am not really behind this idea of going 3 hours. Yes, they're going to be going an hour earlier, but for 3 hours, do you really think many people can really watch Raw for 3 hours? I'm just going to put that out there. Guys, would you want to watch Raw for 3 hours? I mean, you may have different views on it. You may enjoy watching a wrestling show, but sometimes, sometimes in the current state of the business, when the business isn't at its greatest, as we all know, Raws can sometimes be very hard to get through, and that is my one major issue with this decision to go 3 hours. I'm just not sure it's very. I just think it's very counterproductive for WWE's programming, personally.
Well, you did say one key word in that thing you just said, which I agree with. The key word was SmackDown, because now all this is happening on Raw, 3 hour Raw, Super Show, SmackDown is going to Raw. Everything's going to be happening on Raw now, because Raw's got the most time and the most chance to progress and show wrestlers. And when SmackDown comes, what is SmackDown actually going to show? The odd match that don't happen on Raw? Yeah, like that's going to happen, you've got 3 hours to fill up. So you're going to give SmackDown the odd filler matches and just matches to maybe extend the feud just a little bit more, but that's a bit unfair to SmackDown, which used to be a competitive show, to Raw.
And you raise an interesting point there. The fact that Raw is now going 3 hours means that it will be even more of the A show, the more of the showcase show. And that will make SmackDown to even more of a B filler show, but at the same time, you'll be able to show a lot more SmackDown stars on Raw, which is essentially where most of the viewers are. And I feel that's why Vince McMahon wants to do this. He knows that SmackDown's ratings at the moment aren't very good, and not many people watch that show, and not many people enjoy that show, as we can probably both agree on most occasions. So I can understand Vince McMahon's thinking as he wants to get those SmackDown superstars onto Raw. I just don't see why you can't have Raw being a 2-hour show and SmackDown treat it a lot more like a B show, so more people will go over to that show. I think WWE are kind of really being counterproductive here in the sense that they want people to watch SmackDown, but they're trying to do it in a sense where they'll try and make them watch Raw instead, and it's only going to make SmackDown even more of a B filler show, and I really think the two shows should work in parallel and both be as competitive as each other, personally.
There's many things they could have done to help out SmackDown instead of trying to make Raw better, because they know Raw's getting regional ratings for the era they're now in, and SmackDown's the one suffering. So in my idea, the concentration should be on SmackDown to make that better, just so it gets the same rating as Raw or similar to that. And also we made a point about Raw going 3 hours will give the chance for jobber wrestlers or wrestlers that should be going somewhere a chance. Maybe it will be, but at the same time, one, it'll be seen as filler matches, and number two, even with this 3-hour Raw, maybe the WWE won't care for those wrestlers, so there's a chance, but at the same time, the WWE have had 3-hour Raws before, and those just have not got the chance. I'm trying to see good in this 3-hour Raw, but the way the WWE have done stuff in the past, like we've had a discussion before, 3-hour Raws in the past haven't always been the best, and they've missed things out, not done things properly. Now they got 3-hour Raws each week. Yes, we may get some good Raws, but they did the right thing, but the fact they're doing it every week now, there's a chance that it's going to fail.
Yeah, and I think quite similar to what TNA are doing, WWE and Vince McMahon probably just want to instigate a change in the WWE's programming just to see if it works. And I can't see this 3-hour Raw concept lasting very long with regards how much writing they're going to have to put into it, how much creative effort they're going to have to put into the shows. And, with the show going an hour longer, there's going to be a lot more creative effort behind the shows, which means there's more room for errors and stuff. So I must admit, I'm not for this 3-hour Raw concept at all. I think Vince McMahon is trying to change something which he really shouldn't change, as the 2-hour show has been a good formula for the last, since 1993? Or since the Attitude Era when it became 2 hours. 93 it was an hour, as we know.
Well, that is very true, and the thing is, there are some fans out there, yes, they don't watch Raw live because of how late it is, but think of it this way. You have Raw, let's start with pay-per-view. Pay-per-view 3-hour, Raw 3-hour, and then you have SmackDown sometime on Tuesday. So that's going to be 3, 2. So it's kind of a heavy night continuously. So the fans that have to go through that, I'm sorry. Don't blame us at all. We're just giving our opinions. It's Vince McMahon who thinks, this is going to be so creative and something that no one's going to ever think of. So people, get your sleep.
Yeah, indeed. And I guess that's... Do you have anything more to say about that? Because I think I really do want to get people's views on this. Put your thoughts on Raw going 3 hours down in that comment section below. We want to see your thoughts on this. Do you have any additional thoughts before we move on to the live impact?
There is one more thing. For the people for Vince McMahon who got us to stand up for the WWE, so I sit down. I don't think many people want to be standing up after watching 3-hour Raw, which sometimes, as we've seen in the past, hasn't been that entertaining. So people stand up for wrestling, but sit down for Raw.
Yeah, and you may even fall asleep in the third hour, but there we go. So let's move on to Impact then. Now, for me, personally, Impact's going live from May the 31st all summer and being an hour earlier. I'm a lot more higher on this news than I am on the 3-hour Raw, mainly because I think going live is something that Impact has needed to do for some time now. We've seen the shows have been taped many times, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Impact going live on May the 31st. Not just that, but it will also be an hour earlier, which will definitely help us because it's from 1 a.m. till 3 a.m. And I also think that it will help the American viewers as well. And even though TNA are going to be competing with like the Big Bang Theory and big things like that, to go an hour earlier really will help people watch their show, because some people just can't stay up from 8 till 10 or however, 9 till 11 or whatever it is to watch the show. I think the idea to go live is a very good one, and the idea to go an hour earlier is also a very good idea for TNA personally.
I do look at TNA and think they have done a good idea here, going an hour earlier and obviously going live. We've seen SmackDown can overcome their problems by going non-live so they can fix any botches, but the fact that TNA are willing to take the risk of going live, accept any botches or something that comes in, I think that is really good, so the fans can actually see the wrestlers perform without having to redo stuff, retake stuff. It's just going to be pure wrestling, and I think with this could be a good thing for us to believe in the wrestlers, the TNA wrestlers especially, a lot more than what we do already.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll change the TV program too much. To be honest with you, the way they tape it, obviously they can edit it down and stuff. But I think it'll be really interesting to see how TNA can go about structuring their show. Can they time it correctly? Can they get their backstage segments in there well, like WWE can do very well on Raw? It'll be interesting to see how well Impact can use the live show. And I think with it being live, it'll make it feel a lot better, especially the Impact Zone crowd that's usually pretty quiet, and they won't be able to put any canned heat in, by the way, because it's live. With the Impact Zone crowd lately, has been very good. So I do look forward to seeing how the TV show comes across live. I think this is a fantastic decision, and it's a decision which is needed by TNA to really evolve their show, in my opinion. And whether or not it'll help ratings or not, it is being done to try and help ratings, because ratings have been very low lately. And I think this is one of the reasons why TNA have decided, God, we need to make some changes to our TV show. We need to go an hour earlier to try and get more people to watch our show, because some people can't stay up that late, and we need to go live to give the show a better feel. I mean, there's a reason why Raw gets more viewers than SmackDown, because it's live, and people like watching live shows because it's unpredictable.
Well, there's two things I want to say. The crowd, yes, they've been good recently, but for the TNA to hold their good may be hard. Going live, we may get to see a different side of the crowd when they're not reacting like they should do, which may be sad for TNA, and they can't do anything about it because they're live. So that may be a bit of a sad thing, but if TNA can keep their crowd up and live, this would be a good thing for the company. And for them to go live, you said about affecting the ratings and that. Just because they're going live, maybe it won't affect, because it's the fans' opinion. If the fans don't like the company, they're not going to watch, even if it does go live. But at the same time, TNA, as we've said many times before, are putting on good shows now, so eventually maybe fans will be more interested in it, but I don't really think this going live thing is going to change things too much at first.
No, it won't change it too much at first. I agree with that. They're only going to be doing it over summer, and I do think this will be like a test trial to see how well they do their TV shows and how well they can cope with being on live TV. And like I said, I am all for this idea, and I think it will be really interesting to see how TNA cope with this. I think the best way I can put it is that it's a necessary upgrade for TNA for their TV shows. They only have 1 2-hour show a week, and the fact that it's going live means there won't be any spoilers. It will be very unpredictable. We won't know what's going to happen. And let's face it, the fact that there's going to be no spoilers, and even though we don't read spoilers anymore, a lot of people do, and a lot of people read into this like we do sometimes, and it will just make the show a little bit more unpredictable, and it may be more must-see TV because people won't know what's going to happen, even though a lot of the times people will still watch the show even though they know what's going to happen, just to see how it was done.
That's very true, and maybe the fact that there's no spoilers, because sometimes people read the spoilers and don't watch the show, maybe there's a chance as they haven't got spoilers now, they'll just watch the show, or as they've not got the spoilers, they think, TNA's not been what I like, maybe I won't watch it. So it could battle out either way, but if TNA want to take this risk, I'm going to give them a big thumbs up, because the fact they probably thought about this, spoke to many people, spoke to wrestlers and done this, done that, they really thought this could be a good idea, so I say, why not give them a chance? It's only for the summer, so if the crowd's not with it, the rest are not with it, there are botches or stuff like that, things that could be noticed, it's only a period of time they have to put up with, but all I can say is that at this moment in time, it's something that I'm looking forward to, and something that I think TNA, if it works out for them, should keep progressing onward.
Yeah, and you must also remember the fact that they're investing a lot of money in this, because doing a live show does cost a lot more than taping a show. So it's nice that TNA are actually putting some investment into doing these live shows. And I think it'll be interesting to see if it will pay out in the ratings, because that is essentially why I believe they're doing Impact Live, to help the ratings. Whether or not it will is a question in itself. It'll be interesting to find out. But with the ratings being quite low lately, I think TNA are doing things like the Open Fight Night, and they're going live to really try and bring their product up another gear, so they can actually bring in a couple more viewers. And I think that's something that TNA desperately need to do. So I'm 100% behind this TNA Live, and it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, whether there's botches and stuff like you say, and how it affects our viewing of the show, because a lot of times when it's pre-taped, they can choose where goes where, and it can flow a lot better sometimes. And it'll be interesting to see whether the show flows as well, whether it's as good, whether it's as enjoyable, whether the wrestling is as good. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, the thing I question about this is that they've saved it for this time. This is something they could have done a while back when they wanted to come up with ideas. It's not saying the same TNA with only a few WWE wrestlers coming in. They could have used this live thing in the past, but the fact they came up with it now, I'm not bashing it anyway. I think it's a good idea. They've had many times when they could have done this. So all I'm saying is that people who are watching TNA right now, obviously we need to know your thoughts, because with this, we like the idea. We can see positive in it, even there's a chance of negativity. There's everything in a situation, good and bad. So I just say good luck TNA.
Yeah, good luck TNA as well. I think it's a necessary evolution they need in their TV show, and we invite you to give your thoughts down in that comment section below, whether it be via comment or even send us a video response as well. It'll be interesting to see your guys' opinions on this via a video response, as it is a pretty big topic now. I mean, it's two pieces of news, like you said at the beginning of the video, happening within what, hours of each other. It almost seems like WWE and TNA are both trying to compete a little bit there, with Raw going 3 hours and then Impact going live. I must admit, I am a lot higher on TNA's idea than I am WWE's idea, if I may say so.
What I'm going to say is that they both have the positivity in them. Like, 3 Hour you could bash for many reasons, but the fact that there's a chance that it could work, it's going to probably bring in Vince McMahon more money eventually. Yes, the ticket price may go up because they're charging the extra hour, but who knows what WWE are going to do. TNA's only summer, the WWE seems to be longer term, so WWE have more chance of wanting it to work out than TNA. But all I can say is that both ideas, hopefully, they do the positive more than negative.
Yeah, I do hope that TNA succeed in their live tapings. And to be honest with you, NJ, there's a lot of thoughts backstage in WWE that the whole 3 hour ride probably won't last that long, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't either. I'm not sure I like the idea too much. But like I said, I'm just one person. We want to hear your opinions out there as well. Post them in the comment section below, like we said earlier, or post a video response if you prefer to do it that way. And that's pretty much everything, isn't it?
We've covered pretty much what we needed to say.
And do you want to provide us with another witty outro, NJ?
Well, thank you very much, people. This has been another video where we've covered 2 topics. Please share your thoughts. Link us to the videos you've made. Leave comments in the comment section below and share your thoughts. And from Mr. Parkin sitting right here and me and Jay sitting right here, thank you very much, people, and goodbye.